What's going on, everybody? Chris Lotus back at you again with another Omen of Sorrow video. We're tackling Thalessa today. Did not mean for that to be alliterative. So, yeah, by far my favorite character on the Omen of Sorrow roster. I love her design and just the fighting style. Her visual design to me is like a cross between Rita Repulsa from Power Rangers and the Medusa character from the Pet Shop of Horrors OVA. If you've never seen that before and you like horror and you like anime, by all means check that out. It's only 4 episodes long. Manga, I mean, obviously longer, but yeah, one of my favorite all-time OVAs. I actually own the DVD, seen it like 20 times. Never get tired of it. I never do. Probably gonna watch it later tonight. Anyways. But yeah, so Thalessa, as you know, is this game's final boss. Recently this week a patch dropped that kind of toned her down a little bit. Basically a couple of her normals that are kind of like projectiles, they got toned down as far as like them being a little less advantageous on block. So, keep that in mind. By the way, speaking of said patch, good looking A1 games on like the little screenshots, like the little screensavers, things between, you know, going through different modes, like the loading screen. I like that. I like a lot of those, though. So, Thalessa. Thalessa is a zoning and kind of a mind gamesy character. Like, yeah, she can zone you out, but at the same time, like, her normals are just kind of really slick and unorthodox to the point where it's like you can also use them for mix-ups as well. Like, I feel like a really good Thalessa in most cases isn't just gonna like keep you at a distance, but also she's gonna try to mix you up when the time comes. Her movement, since I've been tapping this all over, her movement, like walking, is kind of average, a little bit slower than average. Has a very unique dash. It's fast and it can dodge certain attacks when timed right. In most cases, just block. But, I mean, if you want to surprise someone, by all means, go for it. Let me cut the AI on. See if I can show one. I'm gonna throw a light, Oh, there was one. Saw that right there? I think she threw out crouching light punch and I think I dodged it. There it is. Even though I think crouching heavy punch, I don't think it would hit me from that far, I don't think. That's the one I was looking for to see if I could dodge it. Ah, dang it. I don't think I dodged that technically. It's probably a sign that's not something recommended to do, honestly. However, one good thing about that teleport is, say for instance, well, not with her throw because her throw knocks you all the way across the screen. But if you get a knockdown with something like an anti-air or, for instance, her sweep, you can cross them up, like you can mix them up, corpse hop in essence. Her run is a glide. It's a kind of average, I guess. But the glide in and of itself is interesting, more so because of the attacks, which we'll be getting to in a little bit. Because her gliding attacks, well, let me just keep it at the regular terminology so I don't get you confused. But her running attacks, yeah, like her running attacks are actually a really important tool in my opinion. But that's pretty much her movement. Like I said, it has a regular kind of average jump a little. Gets a little bit more air than, for instance, Adam. And I'm comparing to Adam because Adam's another character I main in this game. Normals. Her standing jab. It's a little unique. it actually hits 3 times. However, watch this. The other 2 hits will only just splatter that out. The only 2 hits will only come out if the first one connects. As long as the first one connects, the others will come out. Even though I think there's at a certain distance where you will only get 2 and the third one will whiff, but it'll still come out. They just made it to where, in most cases, it will. But yeah, special cancelable, hits 3 times. You can see there. Seeing that Thalessa is going to want people, like her opponents, far off of her, it's going to be a rare occasion you use this. It comes out kind of fast, so in any cases you might want to use it to punish. Jumping heavy, well, I'm wanting to jump so bad. Standing heavy punch. Has quite some range on it. Even though it seems like it's hitting her in the ankles, unfortunately it is not. I think it's active far as like far as hitting is only like about right to there. My opinion, it almost seems like the upper part of his mouth is where it is. Basically where it's hitting. If you anti-air with this, it will result in a knockdown. Jump forward. You can juggle after that. It comes out kind of slow, but if you feel like someone's gonna jump, if you have good enough reactions or reads, by all means go for it. Get a juggle. Even though I think she has some anti-airs that are better than that one. Stand please. Thank you. Also the voice work, love it. Even though I'm fairly confident that Thalessa is also the announcer we have, you know, that announces the rounds, when someone goes down, when you select a character at the screen. I'm pretty sure that's all her. Need to find out who does that. Just give him a hand. Great work. Standing light kick is pretty much like a projectile. Saw how it hit twice right there? Now watch me go far away. 1 hit. As you see, the first hit is pretty much like when it's open. Pretty much like a pair of scissors. But at this range, it's not there for like the little closing of the scissors, but only when it impales. It's kind of slow, but it's not too bad. Only problem with it is when not applied wisely, opponents can jump right over it, but there is something for that as well, and we'll be getting to that. Is special cancelable, but in the only case when 2 hits land, only then can you combo. From afar, it won't really do it. Unless you use her other combo ender. I think. Yeah. It's the only time when it'll work. So, standing heavy kick. A little faster than this. While this is a good button to use in neutral, I think that button is more better suited for if you feel like someone is more prone to jumping, but if you just want to harass them and stop them from pressing buttons, that's like your ideal button. It's a little faster than this too. And like, even though it, like, you know, pushes back some, it's a little bit more consistently than that. It's special cancelable as well. Nice little button in neutral to surprise someone with. to jumping normals. Her jumping, okay, so before I even forget about it, she has technically two different types of jumping light punches. You have one for forward, which is okay, and I just already did the second one right there. I said it's okay, I don't see anything too special about it. You can possibly jump in with it, so there's that. Combo that. I just feel like that one's just not all that good because it may be fairly easy to anti-air her from it. So now the other one is a lot better. I don't think I need to really restart for that. The one you saw with the projectile, that is jumping neutral and jumping back light punch. Really good air to air. Far as air to airing, most definitely the jump back version is even better since Thalessa is away from the opponent and pretty much they have that projectile there just making them miserable. Range isn't like as true to the animation because as you see right there it seemed like it should have hit but it didn't. But if you're sharp enough, like I said, jump back light punch is a really good one. Jump forward, yeah. Her jumping heavy punch. Also something else decent to jump in with, albeit the startup makes it kind of a funny button. Like if you press it like when you're steep into your jump, it's not gonna hit. That was kind of slick though. I don't think it crosses up, I might be wrong, but her jumping forward, like her punches are not really all that important in my opinion. That's just me talking. But her jumping kicks though are actually really good. Jumping light kick. Now you see I hit that button from a neutral jump, a forward, and a back jump. That button has a whole lot of utility. Like you can fuzzy guard with it. Like for instance, if you get a knockdown with her up close, which is, you know, like I said, Thalessa doesn't really want her opponents up on her. In most cases, there's one instance where it might be different. Get to that later. But it's like, you know, you get a knockdown or anti-air. Like for instance, let me try something. Let me do something that will probably like happen more in game. Let me restart after I get it set up. Let me restart. Let me use something that will actually like more than likely happen in a match. Yeah, it's like you anti-air them, you get a knockdown and set up. Whoop. Now in that case right there, when I was like right up on them, that's where you would have wanted to do this instead. So let's see, I anti-air. See? Now, if they jump up in the air with you, like if you just happen to time it wrong, that's when you would want to do jumping back light punch. That's enough of that. I don't know why I put the AI on. Probably 'cause I thought I switched to the first tab. And jumping roundhouse, jumping heavy kick, is a very funny button. You can jump over opponents with it. And like, again with the same scenario, if you get a knockdown, the animation, like the little swoop there, because it only hits once. It's like the timing of that projectile can make for some really nasty mix-ups and mind games. Like, might land a sweep, jump. Oh, you condition them to block since they don't want to get hit by it. The reason why I'm not doing throw, because as you can see with her throw puts them all the way across the screen, which of course will get you started on the obvious shenanigans. And then there's that. Correct me if I'm wrong, I might be, like I said, because I've only really been playing most of the characters that I'm really into. You know, Adam, Gabriel, Thalessa, with just a little bit of Radaganda mixed in. I think like Thalessa's the only character I know that can like combo into her throw, as I just did just then. And that more so probably has to do with the fact that how late that button hits. It's like by the time she comes back down, she has enough time to like at least tech. Of course, that's only from up close. But that button, jumping heavy kick, is really good for mix-ups. One thing with Thalessa when it comes to her air normals like this one, jumping heavy kick and like jumping light kick, you'll have to really study like how they come out, time your button presses to make sure they don't whiff. That way you can keep the pressure going, keep harassing the opponent. Because any whiff buttons pretty much can mean the end for her. Like right there, I could have been eaten up with a whole bunch of stuff. This button also, let me see, I think it's an okay air to air, but I think you're better off using jump back light punch. Let's jump forward. Yeah. Yeah, see? Like, only at a certain distance. Like that right there. I guess it's okay, it's just, when in doubt, do that. It's like, try again. See, look at that. But then again, it's also probably my timing as well. That caught her, like, right under. And it gives a knockdown if you happen to anti-air with it. But I feel like, let me see, I guess, like if they're about that much of a distance from you when they jump, like about this much, that's when I think it's at best. Yeah, like that's a really funny button, has a lot of interesting possible utility. I think that's it for jumping normals. Let's go into crouching normals. Crouching jab, crouching light punch. That has a nice bit of range on it. Trying to think. I guess about as much as her standing heavy kick, maybe. It also serves as a good anti-air for anybody that ends up landing a couple of steps in front of Thalessa. Like, not too close to her, but like maybe mid-range, like about... I'll show you the range. Let me jump forward. Like that. Now that's the one problem with that normal, as you saw right there. Someone can clear it. Let me see if I can get into a range. Which will... Trying to see. You see from that range, it'll eat her up. But see right there, she can clear it. So, like I said, if they land like a couple of feet in front of her, like right there, that's a sweet spot for it. It's a knockdown. Now that button, jumping ahead as I usually do with these tutorials. In any case, let me see. See how she's clearing it? Now, as you just saw, let's just go right into it since I did it. There is a button that can cover that space for her when someone jumps around there, and it is crouching heavy punch, crouching fierce. Let me demonstrate it a little better. See how, like, remember that spot right there, right next to her, that light punch didn't hit? It hits twice as well, and then it gets like a knockdown, knocks him in the air. You can juggle afterwards. One thing I've noticed about that button in matches is that it does trade at times, but it's somewhat in, well, I guess kind of in Thalessa's favor because they'll still get the knockdown. She'll take some damage, but still they get knocked down. So that's, you know, really good, but once again, like, pretty much where the other Thalessa landed, like around here, is where you want to hit that button. However, that will not, people can still clear it by jumping over her head, so if they jump over your head, that button is pretty useless. But like I said, it's a really strong anti-air for Thalessa. Crouching fierce punch. Crouching light kick is the only move in her arsenal, from what I understand, that is physical. And the reason, I'll cut straight to the chase. Reason why I bring that up is because, and I'm fairly certain Nothing But a Smile shouts out to him for helping me out with these tutorials as well, because he plays a couple of characters that I haven't, well, so far I like Caleb and Arctorius, like he's gotten Arctorius over with me, so, but there are some characters that, you know, it's always good to have someone else that plays, you know, some of the same characters and some characters you may not play, that way you get to learn more. But the reason why I brought up Crouching Light Kick, which by the way, remember what I talked about earlier? Well, I don't think I mentioned it, but along with comparing her to Rita Repulsa and the Medusa from Pet Shop of Horrors, this animation right here and just her playstyle in general seems like Omen of Sorrow's attempt at Hilda from Uniel, Under Night and Birth, for those of you that don't know. Another game I love, and another character I love. I love Hilda. Hilda's awesome. But yeah, I think Hilda has either a standing or a crouching light kick that is similar to this. Albeit, it's just her kicking her feet. Whereas with Thalessa, they kind of styled it up to where it's like she's posing, just kicking up her feet, sitting back in this throne that she made. But anyways, the reason why I bring it up is because in the Arctorius tutorial, I'm pretty sure Nothing But a Smile brought up the point that most of Thalessa's normals can be absorbed by Arctorius's, I think it's called Sword of the Coward, the one where he holds his sword and like it's pulsating in his hands. Like he holds it in one hand and it's like pulsating with the other hand basically. The lot of Thalessa's moves like can be absorbed by that, with the exception of throws, of course, and of course Crouching Light Kick. Now it hits twice, but the interesting thing is, it's like with that particular matchup in mind, seeing what that button, the range on it, she has to be up close. So it's one of those matches where it's like, you know, Thalessa may want her opponents away from her, but with Arctorius, she might have to get up close if she plans on doing anything, or at least trick like him into, because he can pretty much hold that Sword of the Coward stance and absorb everything that she throws at him. That's like a tough matchup for her. I'm pretty sure he said that, and I had brought up that, you know, she could still throw him, but that would call for her to actually get in, and Thalessa doesn't want to really be in most of the time. You know, that little tidbit. But yeah, Crouching Light Kick, it looks stylish. Hits twice. You're going to want to use this in a match, like I said, against Arctorius, because at least that will counter hit the Sword of the Coward. I'm gonna try it again. Let me see. It doesn't look like it combos. It's a bold cancel, but it's not comboing, so there it goes. Okay. The window is just really small. Has to be instant. What about yeah, but nicer crouching light kick. It's okay. It's special cancelable, but in any case you do it, it will count as a bolt cancel. So you'll have to have some fortune to do so. But yeah, like that's gonna be the one button that's your best friend in the matchup against Arctorius for the third time. You can't stress that. If I just reminded you of the spin doctors there and you can't stand them, I'm sorry. What am I mentioning that for? But anyways, her sweep, crouching heavy kick. It may seem like it hits from a long way, but it actually, similar to her standing heavy punch, it doesn't. Like there, it looked like it would have hit, but it doesn't. Like that's just kind of messed up. Part of me wants to say she has like a bit of the Dudley problem from Street Fighter 4, if you recall, where up until Ultra Street Fighter 4 it came out, like the hitboxes on his jabs, you know, didn't really match the animations all that much. It's like I would say she kind of has a similar issue, but I feel like that might make her a little broken, possibly. Because a sweep from that far, like, sheesh. And I just love how it's like, you know, once she gets down there, it's like, swipe! But then after that, anything else that comes out, except, of course, crouching light kick. Like, she's just freaking sitting there letting it all happen. This character's just so cool, so stylish. But that's it for her crouching normals, basically. Let's say sweep is okay. Just keep in mind the hitbox because it does not fully match the animation. Like here, it looks like it's making contact, but as you see it, no such thing. And that's pretty much it for crouching normals. Now to our running normals, because these are actually really interesting. Her running light punch, running jab, similar to her jumping heavy kick, how it has like that kind of slow, delayed like speed. Like for instance, you can combo into it, like you can combo into throw from it as well, or have that right like a little setup. A possible unblockable, even though of course, jump out of it. The thing with that button is you can also, like for instance, just have it there, or you could do something like it's a really interesting button. Really nice, heavy utility button. Now you can hit it up close, go for a setup, hit it from afar, do something like that. Running heavy punch. That kind of mirrors the heavy version of her projectile, or quarter circle forward. The only thing is like I think you can stack them too. Yeah. Doomed. But it's actually a pretty strong button. Like something also that you can use in your zoning kit to kind of throw off everyone, because they're going to be looking for this. They're going to be watching their feet for these. Not that, but these. So it's like, it's nice to throw that in there. Plus, even though you can run with it, even though I'm technically like kind of run stopping a little bit, like canceling my run, you see how fast that comes out? Now, look at the move that it mirrors. That's a lot of startup. That's a lot of startup, so that's nice to throw out. The only thing is that this truly goes a long range. Keep that in mind. That only goes about mid. And it hits 3 times, which can give you an opportunity to cancel into another projectile. So that right there, but note that I think that was on, let me see.
8.
Let me see. If you cancel anytime before all of the hits land, it is bold. So if you want to save bar, you'll have to wait for the whole thing to come out. Really nice running button. Really nice button. I'm talking like it's a freaking pet.
Doom is upon you.
And then we have her running light kick, which is actually a really freaking slick low. Now I have the dummy set to guard low, just to like show you. None, please. None. Thank you. Almost kind of similar to our jumping heavy kick, how it has kind of that lingering little delay. So you have 2 different little throw setups that you can do with. You have 2 pretty much running normals where you have throw setups. You have, of course, this one. This one's a little easier in my opinion, because once you stop and like once she does it, like it's a nice little freaking throw setup. Her running heavy kick is an overhead. Gets a knockdown. It actually hits fairly far. Like this one, I feel like is one of her normals that is actually very true to the animation, as it seemingly hits like roughly on the tip. See, that time I was a little too far. The noises that thing makes has me convinced it's a whale. But it's a nice little something. Get a knockdown from it, and that's where you can, you know, start shenanigans, wake up with that. Or mix them up on Wake Up Corpse Hop. It's like it's funny. So in essence, that is comboable. Like at first, I figured you couldn't like special well. At first, I only thought the way it really comboed is if you did them at the same time like that. But I feel like this can hit. You can do that. There you go. Okay, so it is. Alright, so that's really it for running normals for her, honestly. Like, her running normals are actually really good. Like, say, for instance, if you're harassing somebody, like, say, you land, like, you know, land one of these, and it's like, you can play some mind games. Granted, they'll see that coming, but it's like, You can set up some shenanigans like that, you know. Get a knockdown with her heavy kick, which actually is pretty far. Like her Oki game actually can be really good, but it's almost like you would only go in there once to mix up the opponent when they just think that, oh, you're gonna just stay over here and just throw stuff and throw and do this, you know, throw a little extra in there. I say our running attacks are actually really good for a multitude of different situations and setups, so by all means, like, mix them up, frustrate the opponent. That's the name of the game. You know, something like that, because it's like they're gonna wonder which one will they need to block first. That's it. This is why I say it's like it's more than just zoning with her. She can play a lot of mind games once the player masters her normals. Like, that's basically that. Like, if you master her normals, like, you'll have different little setups, different little tricks to do with a multitude of opponents. That way, it's like your game doesn't become too predictable, too linear, because people are just going to think all she's going to be about is teleporting and throwing stuff. Seeing that I pretty much covered her normals, well, before I get to it, let's look at her escape. It actually kind of leads us into a special move again, but as she teleports for quite a ways away, she has the stone clone. I was about to say a la Blake Belladonna, since I do play cross tag, and Blake is my favorite Ruby character too, as well. And so this is what I think I like Thalessa. She's kind of like a hodgepodge of all of my favorite characters from a multitude of different things. So, let's see, her escape is pretty good, although it seems a little slow on startup. But then again, let me see. Let me first put the AI on and then restart. Let's see. Okay. Of course, I have to deal with that little wall there. Okay, so it is actually pretty good. Okay, kind of got a little bit of substitution juice in it, right? I guess. Nah, let's leave it at Blake Belladonna. The only thing I don't know about projectiles, because I think projectiles would have to go through the wall first, but But escapes in this game, like I say, as good as that one and ones like Arctorius, as good as those escapes are, just be wary that that does consume your fortune. You can even do it when you're practically at max fate, but just know you run the risk of getting doomed if you get knocked down with like a special move or a sweep, whatever it might be. So it's not something to throw out willy-nilly, to be honest. And from what I understand, her bold counter is also a mirror image of her heavy punch projectile. That's not it. Let me cut max fortune off. That's not what I wanted. I thought they freaking patched that to where you could do those a little easier.
Counter.
There you go. Saw it? Crap. Dang it. I'm gonna do it one more time, possibly. I'm not gonna do it, I'm just wasting time. But that one time when I did it, like you saw, it was pretty much a mirror image of like her quarter circle forward heavy punch projectile or the running heavy punch, basically. It was not too bad, even though, as you saw there, EX quarter circle forward makes a really good reversal, a nice get off me move. What a dummy. Alright, special moves. Alright, first of all, you see me do this a couple of times. There's a projectile, nice little, and that's the strong version right there. Pretty much for zoning there. As you see, there's a little bit more startup on the heavy one, but it gets a knockdown. Good to get somebody doomed if they get really frickly or whatnot. It's nice for a transition in most cases. Your ideal B&B when it comes to combos with this move is going to be canceling this into her down heavy down punch. I took Max Fortune off. Like that's going to be one of your B&Bs basically when it comes to you doing combos. You've seen her EX version of this move because I did it several times. We're trying to do bolt counter. Fairly nice as a reversal. Just, it's even better because it knocks them away, so it's right back in the sweet position, the positioning that Thalessa really wants.
Fate calls.
Oh yeah. That's pretty much it for that move, and since I've already done it, there's this down heavy punch. Light punch hits fairly at sweep distance from her, mid sweep or mid distance. This light version, there's a heavy version. Just to get an idea of the difference. Now, the EX version, I think, homes in on the opponent, wherever they are. But of course, as you see that, it gets some more hits, and then they're left standing. So you gotta mix up afterward. You can do stuff. Do stuff like that. There's a restand. It's not like she enjoying it. She does it like, let me try. I don't think it's a good... See, I don't think it's good for, like, juggle. So, in essence, The EX version is best if you're doing like a ground combo of some sort, but like from a knockdown, like as a juggle, I wouldn't do it because it just restands them. Like you're just better off doing the regular B&B because you get a knockdown and you can set up more shenanigans after that. I don't know why I did that because she's gonna jump forward. Stand. Oh yeah, and she has a teleport as well, which is actually down kick. That was the light kick version. As you see, it teleports her at a certain range. It teleports her behind the opponent. Like from full screen, she'll be about. Actually, no, all the way to the side. So like that's a good way to surprise someone. Do something like that. Not to mention there's a stone clone there as well, so the heavy version of the teleport pretty much drops her from the sky in front of the opponent. While this might seem kind of worthless, it actually can have some use because her last special move is an air projectile only, which I think unfortunately they also need to check on getting some sound effects for that as well. That's the heavy version of that projectile. Light version goes straight down, and heavy version, you have that. Let's see. Despite the fact you see two snakes there, it only hits one time. It's another move that you can use to like confuse the opponent. It's incredibly dirty when you're like on wake up, because then it's like you can mix this into your air game. Like all of her teleports will put her near the opponent. And before she comes down, like you don't have to teleport in order to do the projectiles, but it's actually not a bad idea. I say something else you can jump over the opponent with when they're expecting your normals. And there's no meter burn version of that because down is going to give you EX gator head basically. It's going to give you that. Look at the cheat sheet. I think that's it because I don't want to miss out on special moves like I did with Adam. Yeah. Alright, so that's pretty much that. And as you see, she doesn't have any command normals. To be honest, I feel like she doesn't really need them. So let's go right into her supers. We have, of course, level 1. Pretty much another version of like her little EX one-eyed serpent. The only difference is, as you saw with the super, as it's rising in its super, like as it's raising, those are actually hits. The only problem is that I don't think there's a way to combo into this to where you'll get all 6 hits. Only thing that comboed. Okay, there you go. It's like initially when I did that, I kept thinking when I did even the heavy, running heavy, I thought that only a portion of the move actually went, portion of the super actually hit. Doomed. And it's like, because even when I do this, it OTG, but it's like, that was because she was doing. So even with that, didn't work, so. So even with that, you know, it didn't work. So it's like the only way it seems like you're gonna be able to combo that. Let's see. So the only way you're gonna get the whole thing really is by doing that. But you have to be at a certain range. Dang it, I don't know why I keep doing light punch. Mid-screen again. There you go. A whole lot more damage. But, like I said, I think there's only a limited amount of ways to like combo the whole thing, really. And now for the moment that I've really like been waiting for, cause I mean we can debate it all day, but this is by far one of like the most best looking level like ultimates in the game, basically. Another character I just thought about with her, another character I like, King of Fighters' recent edition, newest edition, Najd, in KOF 14. Like the Dark Serpents remind me of her as well, because she has an ultimate that kind of has some similar looking creatures that come out. Like I said, she's like a ginormous fusion of all these characters that I like. But her ultimate, I keep wanting to say level 3, but I don't like saying it because there's only 2 bars in the game. But you can combo into this from, of course, running heavy. I don't know why I just did her regular super. You can do this from combo it from running heavy. Much as I would love to play it all the way through, I'm trying not to. I think this is running a little bit over time because of all my botching, so let's see. The thing is, and it also hits full screen as well, just so you know. It's just the true face of the world. It comes out slow, so comboing into it is going to involve you having to be fairly close. Like if you combo it from one of these. Ah, and I missed that time. There we go. Everything is like the music is just a good touch too. Yeah, it seems about to be Thalessa in a nutshell. So comboing with her is going to involve you heavily relying on this, cause that's pretty much going to be your primary combo ender. you'll be doing stuff like this, the juggles.
How quaint.
When blessed, as of course everything combos into each other. It's just gonna take some practice with you knowing like your range at which what move hits, but once you get accustomed to that, comboing with Thalessa will become a little easier for you. You can do like it in reverse.
Calls. Dude!
I just gotta see it one more time. One more time.
Face of the world!
Yeah, that's Thalessa in a nutshell. Like I said, her strengths involve her having very interesting normals that can make for a whole bunch of mind games. You can create really crazy mix-ups with her. Has a teleport that is very unique to her. I say her struggles are going to involve, basically, it's going to take practice to mastering timing and spacing when it comes to comboing with her and hit confirming. She will have a pretty difficult time, like with the I don't think she has any reversals without, meterless reversals, that is. And also what else was it then? What else? Yeah, the Arctorias matchup. Yeah, that's basically it. Because like, against Arctorias, you're going to pretty much be forced to kind of play up close, which is where she doesn't want to be. But, yeah, that's Thalessa. Thank you all so much. Glad a couple of you have been enjoying what me and Nothing But a Smile have been doing when it comes to doing these tutorials for these characters. Stay tuned. We do plan on doing each and every character, so keep an eye out. I don't know exactly who he's gonna do next, but I'm planning on doing Gabriel and Radaganda sometime soon. Then again, it is subject to change. But yeah, once again, shout outs to everybody that's been watching and, messaging us. Can't thank you enough. Stay tuned, because you don't want to miss who is going to come up next. This is Chris Lotus. I am outie!